back to my channel. I took a little bit of a reading break, which is why this video is coming out so much later than, you might have expected. I actually took like a 9-day long break of no reading, because it was reading week. Coincidentally, ironically, I didn't read during reading week, because I was at my house and I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. I just wasn't getting anything done in terms of reading. So I just stopped and then restarted, and it worked perfectly because I haven't missed a day since I restarted, since I got back here, and it's been like more than a week now. So I got right back onto it, no problems. So this is the first book that I read, and it was a while ago now that I read it, now that I think about it. The Catcher in the Rye. This is an old book. This is an oldie. An oldie, but an okay. I'm gonna be really frank with you. The first 20 pages of this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a 5-star read, isn't it? It wasn't. I decided to give this book 7. I gave it 7 stars. I'm trying to be more realistic with my ratings. I feel like sometimes I overrate things. That's a big problem for me, so I decided to really be honest with myself and give it a 7. And I'm going to explain exactly why this book is a 7. First of all, this paperback copy is awful, but I didn't even read the paperback. Big surprise. Anyway, what I ended up not liking about this book, and what kind of ruined it, not ruined it in like it was bad the whole time, but like ruined it in the sense that I no longer felt it was as good as it was when I started reading it, was the main character just becomes obnoxious after a certain point. Like, he kind of gets into this weird rambling thing where he just starts calling everybody a phony, and he's really upset about how everyone is fake. Like, is this 2023? Like, that's literally all he wants to complain about. That's all he wants to think about, talk about, is how fake everyone is, and he hates the phonies. He's not like other boys. He hates phonies. And it just got to the point where he wasn't saying anything else, and it just felt stupid. The end of the book is just such a letdown, because it just goes on and on like this for like 30,000 words. Almost half of this book is just him complaining about how fake he thinks everybody is and doing nothing about it. Main characters complaining about people is fine, but when he's not adding anything new to this complaint for so long, it just gets repetitive and boring. Like, it just makes me start to hate the main character because I don't care about him anymore. And there's a scene here where he goes to see like an old English teacher of his, and nothing comes out of that scene. Like, it's supposed to be the climax of the book, and he just goes to his teacher that we've never encountered before, but he knows, and then the scene is over within like less than 10 pages even, and Holden leaves thinking, oh my god, this guy is trying to touch me or something. I don't even remember what he thinks, but it seemed clear to me that he was just making it up. So, that's not great. So yeah, this book could have been really good if we had kind of stuck to what was going on in the beginning of the book. But the fact that it kind of devolves into this super tedious and anticlimactic ending brings it from 5 all the way down to 3.5. Like, I've got to subtract a full 1.5 stars for how bad the ending really is. If the ending was not like that at all, and he kind of got out of this rut of everybody's a phony, and didn't complain about that 5 times every paragraph, then this could have been 4.5 stars, 5 even, if it was really good. But I have to subtract points. The first half of the book can't carry the entire book. This is like the same thing as The Hobbit almost, but sometimes Holden is a little bit more annoying. Anyway, this book went the complete opposite way. And by complete opposite, I mean I decided to give this book 5 stars. 5 out of 5. 10 stars. You might be thinking, Sam, why? Why would Lord of the Flies, not the Lord, why would Lord of the Flies be a 5-star read? What can I say? This book, the entire second half of this book is like drama cranked up to 11. So many character deaths happen at the end of this book, and it's just so well done. And the ending of, and spoilers for the 70-year-old book. The ending, when they're running out of the forest, out of the jungle, like back onto the beach, and then they just see all of the military personnel from the Navy, and it all puts it into perspective for them, and they realize that like everything they've been doing on this beach was for nothing, and they didn't have to create their own society and kind of devolve. Not that some of them thought they had to. The main character doesn't think they have to, but everything seems so big in scope at the end of the book until you get to the very end when they see the military people. And I just love that moment. That's like one of my favorite moments in the whole book. Because yeah, it just makes everything seem so silly what they were doing, and people died because of it. And this book is really never boring. Like, I think I read it in 4 days. It was just really good. It was so much better the second time around. But I had to read it with the audiobook, because without the audiobook, I was barely getting through my like daily word goal or reading goal. But with the audiobook, it just really sped things up, because I was listening on 2 times speed while I was reading. It was so much better, so much more helpful, because it really kept me on track. I guess that's all I have to say about it. I mean, it was just really good. What can I say? This is my second 5-star book of the year. I wasn't expecting this one to be that, but it was. So even though The Catcher in the Rye wasn't a 5-star book like I thought it was, William Golding really pulled through right after that with this. And lastly, we have this book. Now, I don't know how to say this name. I think it's supposed to be Eileen. Anyway, it's being turned into a movie. So whenever I found out that this book was going to be turned into a movie, I decided I was going to pick it up, because it's coming out December 8th or something. So that's just a month away, and I'm going to be able to see it in theaters right where I live. So I decided that it was time to read this book, and this was written by Otessa Moshfegh. This is the same woman who wrote the previous 5-star book I read this year, My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And whenever you read an author's second book, you really get a sense for their writing style, because now you have something to compare the previous book to. And Otessa Moshfegh, she has a style for sure. She loves quirky white female characters in their 20s, living in some time period that is not the present. This book takes place around the mid-60s in New England, and it kind of revolves around, what's her name? Eileen, and her relationship with her father and her job. She's not like other girls. She doesn't really fit in. Anyway, Eileen is kind of at this job. She's 24 years old, but she still lives with her dad, because she feels like her dad depends on her. But like from the very start, you can tell that she doesn't really care about him, and she even imagines him dying several times throughout the book. And anyway, the big plot of the book is that she meets Rebecca, and Rebecca really takes her out of her shell. Rebecca seems to be this flawless woman who, you know, is everything that Eileen wants to be. And Rebecca starts working at the prison that Eileen works at, and that's how they meet. And Rebecca, throughout the story, really brings Eileen to different places, I guess you could say, and it kind of culminates in this big plot twist at the end of the book. Well, not necessarily a plot twist, because it's a twist for the scene specifically, but it's not like, it doesn't change the rest of the plot of the book, I guess, is a better way to say it. And it's just got a really good climax. I really love the end of this book. I suppose I should tell you the rating. I decided to give this 8 out of 10, so it's getting a full 4 stars. Not quite the 5 that my year of rest and relaxation got, but it's still very good. I mean, just based on reading this, I think I would say that I'd probably want to read the rest of her books. And see, now a major motion picture. Well, in a month it will be. And it's actually got pretty good ratings so far. Like, the critic score is 73 and the audience is like a 7, I think. For a book adaptation on a low budget, I don't know how that's gonna go, but it's starring someone I don't know as Eileen, but Anne Hathaway plays Rebecca. Rebecca, this glamorous woman who seems to have it all. And I thought that was so fitting, because the moment I knew that Anne Hathaway was playing her, I just started picturing Rebecca as Anne Hathaway, and it all worked. And Otessa Moshfegh is actually, she co-wrote the screenplay. Her name is right up there with the original, with the other screenwriter. And then there's a separate, based on the novel by Otessa Moshfegh. So, that's putting a little bit more faith into the film, I guess, for it to be a good adaptation. And I guess that's it. So we have a 3.5 star book that kind of got ruined by the ending, and the character kind of turning into this really unbearable person by the end of the book, which, maybe that was the whole point of the book. Maybe I'm just blind to that. Then we have this gorgeous 5-star book, this masterpiece, this really thrilling tale that just gets me going and just works so much better than other books. And then this nice 4-star thing. Eileen, Otessa Moshfegh, she did a good job with this one. As I said, not quite on the level of my year of rest and relaxation, but I mean, it's very hard for things to be on that level. That one is just twice as funny as this book is, and the character is just 10 times more lovable, even though she does so little compared to what Eileen ends up doing by the end of the book. And that's all I have for this week's episode. I will see you again in a little while. I'm actually reading book number 10 of the year, so that's right, I've finished 9 out of 12 books for the year so far, and I still have about 2 months left. So I'm feeling extremely confident in my ability to finish. And that is it for this video. I will see you next time.